The Democrats are loving this right now. They're loving this squabble, and they love pointing out, in their words, that Rush Limbaugh is the face of the Republican Party, the de facto leader of the Republican Party. You know, this, I guess, we go back, Reggie, to Saturday when Rush Limbaugh gave the closing comments at CPAC, that major conservative conference, and he had some very tough language directed at Barack Obama and at the Democrats in Congress. Around the same time, right here on CNN, on D.L. Hewley Breaks the News, Michael Steele, the head of the Republican Party, really the chairman of the Republican National Committee, the organization that runs the party, he had taped an interview well before Limbaugh spoke, and in that interview he talked about him being, not Rush, him being the de facto leader of the Republican Party, and he called Limbaugh's comments, he said his comments can be incendiary and ugly. Well, when that got into the news cycle yesterday by a lot of reporting by us here at CNN and other organizations, Rush Limbaugh responded on his radio show yesterday and really took it to Michael Steele. I mean, really took it. And then Michael Steele apologizing late yesterday, putting out a statement, and in that statement saying that I respect Rush Limbaugh. He is a national conservative leader, and in no way do I want to diminish his voice. I'm sure he and I will agree most of the time, but we'll probably disagree some as well, which is fine. He goes on to say, to the extent that my remarks helped the Democrats in Washington to take the focus, even for 1 minute, off their irresponsible expansion of the government, I truly apologize. So we've seen this before. There was a congressman from Georgia, Republican Congressman Gingrey, who had some pushback against Rush Limbaugh earlier this year. He had to apologize as well. He even went on Rush Limbaugh's show, on his radio show, nationally syndicated show. We'll see if Steele does the same thing. But score one for Rush on this, and I guess the winners here. Yeah, really. And to me, the winners here politically are the Democrats, because they are making a mountain out of this one.
And so we saw the governor of Louisiana on Larry King Live talking about this very subject. Let's see what Bobby Jindal had to say.
You want him to fail?
I don't want those policies to be adopted. I want my country to succeed, but I don't want policies to be adopted that I think will actually...
What if the policies work?
Well, again...
What if they work?
This is where we have a fundamental disagreement. I don't think it's going to work to borrow to spend in excess of our revenues. If you believed everything the president, if you believed all of his projections, you believe the economy starts growing again, you believe that we're not going to be spending all that money fighting overseas, if you believe that all of these temporary programs are truly temporary, he's still projecting deficits of $500 billion per year under the best case scenario. Larry, that's just not sustainable. We cannot continue to do this as a country. China cannot continue to be one of our largest foreign holders of debt. This addiction to debt is what's caused so many of our problems. Government's not going to be the answer to every problem.
And of course, that was Bobby Jindal talking about the fact that what Rush originally said was that he wanted the president to fail, and so that was kind of the governor's response to that.
Yeah, and Rush Limbaugh said it back in January, and he backed it up again over the weekend at that conservative conference, saying, I want him to fail because if it means changing the country to take away capitalism and individual liberties, darn right I want him to fail. And that's what Jindal was asked about, and he seemed to agree there pretty much with Rush. Now, Jindal, of course, gave the Republican response about a week and a half ago to President Obama's primetime address, and he was also asked by Larry King what he thought about that, because the pundits pretty much panned Limbaugh. He said, listen, Barack Obama is a much better speaker than me, but you got to listen to my message and not how I performed. But Bobby Jindal did okay this past week, and they had a straw poll at that conservative conference, and he came in second place when looking ahead to the next presidential nomination. We'll see if he wants to run, but you know, he is a conservative leader, and he's getting his airtime right now.
All right. Well, is that all for people apologizing today to Rush Limbaugh? I think that's all we know about that, right?
Did you apologize? I didn't apologize.
I have not apologized to Rush Limbaugh yet.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, I want to make news tomorrow, so I'm waiting for my announcement later today. Let's talk about Rod Blagojevich, because he is
because it's
back
fun, right? Just say it. It's fun.
It's fun. You're right.
Okay,
he's back in the news, and he's back in the bookstore. Really?
Yeah. His publicist announced yesterday that he is going to be out with a book. It's a six-figure deal. He's writing a book for an independent publisher. It'll be released in October. His publicist said in a news release yesterday that the former governor, get this, plans on exposing the dark side of politics that he witnessed both in state and national level. The publicist goes on to say Blagojevich won't pull any punches and will reveal information and provide insights that will be at times embarrassing to himself and others. So this should be interesting. Reggie, I think another thing here maybe is money. Remember,
Rod
Blagojevich, he lost his job. He was ousted. He was impeached and kicked out of office, but he still faces a federal trial on those charges. And you know what? It could be a costly federal trial. He doesn't make any money anymore. He doesn't have the governor's job. His wife lost her $100,000 a year job. So maybe money is part of this. They need money. And, well, he maybe wants to also be in the news. So
I think it's funny that the publicist says he's going to expose the dark side of politics. Hasn't he already done that? I'm pretty sure that already happened. But
I'm not touching that one. But yeah, I think that was a good line.
I mean, okay. Let's talk about Roland Burris, the man who Rod Blagojevich appointed to the Senate seat. Now, as far as I know, Roland Burris is still in the Senate. But what else is happening with him?
This is really good flow today, by the way. Every story is flowing one after the other.
It's true.
Yeah. Here's what we've learned. He has started a new website, and we can show you the website. And it's Roland Burris. Wait, I want to get this right. Yeah, it's called supportburris.com. There it is right there. And on this website, he is taking donations or contributions just in case he decides to run for re-election or for election in 2010. Even as everybody is calling for him to quit and get out of the Senate and step down because of his links to Blagojevich. Remember, Blagojevich appointed him, and now we're learning more about his relationship with Blagojevich. Even as that's going on, I guess he's hedging all his bets. He's got this website up. It's been up for a little while, and on it, you can contribute if you want to Roland Burris just in case he runs for election in 2010 when the seat is up for election.